What's up, guys? Welcome back. All right, this one, ooh, loud thunder. I don't know if you can hear that, but this one, we're drafting Ball Mania. This is for our piece of $2 million first place, right? 50 million in prizes. This one's wild. 672,000 entrants, $25 entry. Yeah, and we're going for first place. We'd like 2 million. That'd be great. We do get stuck in the 11 hole, which okay, we'll probably shoot a few of these. I'm not going to go ham on this tournament just because of the way my bankroll. I'd like to spread it out in some of the less expensive tournaments, especially as being my first season doing best ball. But we are going to draft a few of these because $2 million first place, right? That being said, 11 is fine. We get our shot at the Great Wall of running backs, and I'm hoping James Cook makes it down to us. I'd love to start my first team in Best Ball Mania with James Cook. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that. If a Jefferson does make it down to us, I'm a little less inclined than James Cook. I will say, with this being a little bit more of an expensive tournament and with my bankroll being what it is for this season, well, I'm happy to look to more diversify my portfolio in these other tournaments when I'm drafting 10, 20, 30 teams. I think I drafted almost 40 teams in the Fast Puppy. In these tournaments, I'm more going to lean down on my guy like I almost would in a redraft and kind of really go after what I believe is the true highest upside, not giving myself, you know, just a ton of options in terms of, oh, I'm going to draft 50 teams, so I'll just let ADP decide. I think I'll probably try to construct best team because I can't imagine I'm doing much more than, 5 or 6 of these maybe between now and the beginning of the season. Yeah, so I will not be taking Jefferson over Cook if Cook is still available. Would I take Jonathan Taylor over Cook is a good question. I actually think Cook is in for a bigger year than Jonathan Taylor. So no, but I won't be taking Jefferson either. We're going to give Jefferson to the 12 spot. If Jefferson wheels now to pick 14, then I will take him. Otherwise, we're going to grab Omarion Hampton or Chase Brown or Saquon Barkley, hopefully, because he'll take Jefferson and Genty, presumably. I'm happy with Genty, Barkley, or Hampton. I also am happy with Chase Brown, but I think I have Hampton slightly higher just with the upside than Chase Brown, and Barkley and Genty to have pretty big years as well. So we'll see what our drafter does here. So first round is pretty standard. Taylor falling down to 10 is something. Okay, so Barkley goes at the 12. So Jefferson is still on the board. I'm inclined to think that this person's going to take Jefferson. It would be hard for us to pass Jefferson here at 14. Um, it would be really hard to pass Jefferson at 14, I believe. Yeah, I think Genty and Amari and Hampton are great. So he takes Derrick Henry there. So we get Jefferson, Genty, or Amari and Hampton. I think all three are amazing. Man, you know what? I think I'm going to take Ashton Genty here. As crazy as that is, I think that I believe Genty is the truth. And having James Cook and Genty, I potentially have two top five running backs here. And then Jefferson goes off. I think, Taylor Jefferson is wild because that's two first round picks, but I have Genty and Cook as two first round picks as well. So I'm happy to do this. I think we will target Allen back here as well. It'll put us a little behind at receiver, but if we can pick up a decent receiver here at 35 and grab Allen at 38 or vice versa, I think we're in great shape. Because we did start double RB, I probably will not be in for taking one of the more premium tight ends. In our ADP range, Tyler Warren will probably be sitting there potentially at the beginning of the 60 range here for us, but I think we'll maybe see what wide receiver. The reason I like maybe grabbing Allen and a receiver here is we might get DJ Moore to fall to us at 59 and then follow up with the receiver here at 62 and just have a really solid start to this draft. All right, so after we take Cook, Barkley Henry, then we get Genty, then Jefferson goes to Taylor, Hampton goes to Lamb, Bowers goes to A.J. Brown. So A.J. Brown in the first round, I didn't notice that on the way through, but that is wild work. That is definitely calling your shot here. St. Brown and London is a great pairing. Smith and Jigba, Chase Brown, that's really strong. McCaffrey and Walker. Puka Nakua gets Achan. That's pretty strong as well. And then we're pretty much caught up at ADP now in terms of the value is back on track here. So you will see Collins, Pickens, Rashi Rice, Devontae Smith. Jeremiah Love, all those guys kind of go down here. At 35, again, we have this opportunity potentially to draft Allen right at ADP. If Allen goes before, we're going to get two really nice receiving threats. And then, like I was saying, if we can get more to come back to us down there at right here at 59, right at ADP for him, then we could be set up with the Rich Low Bills, which we're happy to do it. Kyron Williams slots up to 25. Malik Neighbors slots in at 26. It's amazing since his announcement that he's no longer on starting the season on PUP, how much his ADP has just skyrocketed, right? Malik Neighbors was going in the fourth round pretty consistently, sometimes the end of the fourth round, just a week ago. So his ADP has shifted significantly. All right, McConkey get pulled up. Chase Collins McConkey is a pretty nice wide receiver set. I think that's pretty good. Nakua Achan here is pretty solid as well. Be interesting to see who they pull up and bring in here. Okay, Devonta Smith. So we have a situation where Jeremiah Love is falling. McBride goes to the McCaffrey Walker player. And Jidba Brown goes Olave. I was going to say maybe they go with Jeremiah Love there, but a gift to the St. Brown London player if they want to start off their team with Love. If we weren't going to lean into Allen down here, then there is an obvious argument to take Jefferson. Oh man, Allen goes high. So take Jefferson here so that we can pick up one of the running backs in here, which like the Javonte Williams. If I had known Love was going to make it this far back and there'd still be as many running backs on the board as there are, I'd probably be very inclined. Here we're going to skip by Zay Flowers, and I'm going to pick up Emeka Mbuka as my first. I do have Javonte Williams as my next highest rated player, but we'll see what gets to us. If it's T. Higgins, that's fine. But that being said, I'm not as comfortable with Tedderone and McMillan in that offense. I'm not as comfortable with Garrett Wilson in that offense. I don't really want to pull a trigger on Waddle here, and have a hard time with McLaurin, Burden, or Evans sitting above Javonte Williams or Cam Stadaboo, as I think they're going to be really, really high value threats. So Higgins goes. So here, if he doesn't take Javonte, that's probably where we're going to be. I like having two running backs and two receivers through four more than I like having three running backs. But I think we'll get a pair of really good wide receivers at the sort of 5-6 turn here. And so I'm okay saying, all right, we're going to take Javonte Williams over Flowers, over Tet, over Garrett, over Waddle, and just be done at running back, like for real. So this is an insane running back room. This is as good as it gets, in my opinion. This is as good as it gets. Yes, we only have Emeka Buta to start with, but we'll pick up like a Carnell Tate or maybe if we get lucky, a Christian Watson. I'm less interested in DJ Moore unless I have Josh Allen, and that player will probably snap DJ Moore here at 56 anyway, so probably won't be of consideration to us. But Hall's value here at ADP is insane. So is Love. The Lamb, Hampton, Love, Wilson player has a really nice team out of the 9 slot here, so that's pretty cool. I think the A.J. Brown player made a distinct mistake going Bowers and Loveland. I guess that remains to be seen, but this gentleman has no running backs through 4, and to show for it only has one wide receiver. I just think he's going to be so far behind at what you need the most of in wide receiver and running back that's going to be, even though I guess he's telling us Bowers or Loveland is going to be in his flex on a week-to-week basis, then that's still tough to stomach. Moore went above Allen. What am I talking about? What, Moore goes up here? That is wild. So I didn't even notice that because it is just so wildly above his ADP that I don't really know what to say there. That's insane. So we've had a couple of wonky things in here. A.J. Brown making his way into the first round. This is not a full PPR. It's half-point PPR. Moore going at 31. Kyron Williams going at 25, right? The drafter who pulled A.J. Brown up, hitting Bowers and Loveland in 2 and 4 respectively, and having no running backs to show for it is wild. Yeah, so we've seen some wild stuff. Barkley Henry is kind of like the boomer start down here in the 12 slot, 12 at the 12 1-2 turn, right? Gibbs, Williams, those Judkins. I think the Chase player with Nico Collins and McConkey, who scooped up Stadaboo there, is in really good shape, especially if they pick up like a DeAndre Swift or David Montgomery through here. And that's the other thing, is that Judkins goes above David Montgomery and DeAndre Swift, which I don't really have that in the cards as well. The Bijan Robinson player is going true hero RB with Pickens, Neighbors, Adams, and Williams. It's pretty sick out of the 2 spot. Yeah, if Chase player is going balanced here, they can snap off a Montgomery, they can snap off a Swift and be in really good shape. So this is the other thing with how it's weird how the running backs have kind of, I don't want to say fallen, but they kind of have in a way, right, by getting Love and Hall back here, which pushed everything else back. There's this really weird world where with 59.62 we could still be looking at like a Bashal Tootin or a Jadarian Price and kind of have rathered Jefferson up here. You never know how these drafts are going to go, and it's hindsight is really easy to be 2020, right, and say you know exactly what you should have done. But getting Jefferson up here may have been the better pairing, knowing that we could have stacked, Williams would cook and grabbed another running back here. So all good. Here we could also have gone Williams and Jacobs and whatever. All right, Bucky Irving goes off the board to the Smith and Jigba Brown Olave player. Then it's Josh Jacobs and Bucky Irving. It's coming up on our pick. Josh Downs goes off the board at 55. Wild. Okay, this guy's just taking the receivers he wants and calling it a day. So we should get a little bit of falling value here. David Montgomery makes it all the way back. No way. Man, oh man, mistakes were made. Well, all right, he doesn't. So here, um, I think we definitely picked up Tyson. I'm not super high on a ton of these receivers, but receivers where we kind of need to be. I'm not high on Brian Thomas. I suppose I'd take Parker Washington potentially over him. I also am pretty high on Tyler Warren, but I don't want to get too far behind at wide receiver given that we only have 2 through 5. If we take Warren here, which is what I had said we would probably pass on, it does put us in an interesting situation from wide receiver economy. We're just going to have to pound wide receivers so freaking hard. If I didn't want to shoot my shot on one of the Jacksonville guys, I'm then going down and pulling up one of these players, and I just don't think I'm willing to do that. So Shall Tootin goes. I can't believe Montgomery made it to 58. All right, so we're on the clock at pick 62. There is Lamar Jackson. There's Henderson. There's Brian Thomas. I mean, we could take an unstacked Lamar Jackson, or we just take Tyler Warren. You know what? I'm going to take an unstacked Lamar Jackson. I just think, yeah, yeah, he's unstacked. We're going to be fine at wide receiver here in 83, 86, I think. And we can look to grab Andrews later as a tight end. Baker Mayfield and Shock are both also in consideration for us, although I think the Shock I've seen moving up and up and up, he really makes it to his ADP these days, so we'll probably have to pull him up a little bit, which is awkward for our draft spot because he typically goes at 123. He's down here, 123, 124. We have to pull him up at 110, which we could do. I mean, we'll see how this goes. So, yeah, had I known how things would be differently, it would be different had I known, but it's impossible to know. Henderson making it into the 6th round here, Montgomery making it to 58. It's just wild. Yeah, but we do have to play. I liked our team a lot, but we do have to play catch up on wide receiver. The Allen player drafts Burrow. So this gentleman going 0 RB out of the 8 slot has Bowers and Loveland, Allen and Burrow with Tate and Brown. It's wild. Doesn't opt for Drake May to pair with AJ Brown. Opts for Burrow. Yeah. Is this gentleman auto draft? No way. He can't be auto drafting after he takes AJ Brown there, but could be otherwise. I think Burrow's after May though, so I don't know what's going on there. But Jaffrey Walker, man, there's some crazy unbalanced teams, right? The 7 and 8 teams are so unbalanced. The 5 team is crazy unbalanced. Um, there's just so many unbalanced teams. This is wild. The rest, I suppose, are chalking out balance wise, but three's not very balanced either. Look at Chase, Collins, McConkey, McLaurin, Parker Washington, and only Cam Statabu as their lone running back. All right, Prescott comes up here. We're not in for another quarterback for a while. We have outs to both Mayfield and Tyson, and we'll grab some receivers here that give us outs to even more quarterback stacking later. So if we look at our ADP here at 83 and 86, we'll kind of be in this range of players right here, which is Godwin, Addison, Reed, Sutton if he falls, Worthy, Pearsall, which are all good. They're all good options. Again, we're going to be off running back for a little bit. Having Cook, Genty, and Williams is pretty wild. If we had done, with Cook and Genty, had we done our wide receiver room a little differently, I think we'd like our team a little bit better. But I don't like Washington or Thomas or Harrison, and I'm not going to pull Johnson or Metcalf up a round and a half. That's just not going to happen. So, all right. St. Brown, London, Moore, McMillan, Downs, Drake, May, Herbert. It's wild. The A.J. Brown player takes their first running back for Corum, but this gentleman right here has no running backs through 7. Doesn't feel like a winning recipe. Here, pretty easy Alec Pierce for me. And then we'll grab one of these guys on the turn here. Um, of these guys, if we had John Washington, we'd have Lawrence there, but it's fine. Of these guys, Sutton, Reed, and Godwin and Addison, I may be highest on Addison. Godwin would give us the double stack, though, with Edbuka, but I don't know if we want double stack. That's actually interesting. So let's just see how this goes here. Um, I looked at Godwin and Edbuka as 1A, 1B in that offense. Jaden Reed's probably in for a huge season too. They're kind of all equal to me, so we'll see what he opts to do, but probably lean into Godwin here and then look to grab Mayfield later. And he grabs Godwin. Okay, so he makes the decision for us of Sutton, Reed, and Addison. I'm I'm pretty high on all of them. I think they're all the same. Maybe a little higher on Addison or Sutton. Let's go ahead and grab. That's Rep Sutton. It's fine. I think he got the highest upside. We just give us, the 80 yards and a touchdown. That'll open us for Bo Nix later. So right now, Bo Nix, Daniel Jones, Shug, and Mayfield all give us stacks, and I feel pretty good about that. I think we're going to want to hit wide receiver again here at 107, 110, and maybe look over one of the quarterbacks that goes in that range. I don't want to overpay for a quarterback here. Um, Shug and Mayfield are on the other side of the board. Daniel Jones is much later than that, and I'm actually happy to take Daniel Jones as our third quarterback. 146 means we can punt him down to the 134. So maybe look for maybe Mayfield or Shug to fall here and then go there, and that would give us open opportunity at 107, 110. And 107, 110 could give us Matthew Golden, maybe Jacoby Myers. There's also Harold Fannin and Kyle Pitts in that range, and I don't believe we'll get a Tucker Craft to fall. Wait, is Tucker Craft already off the board? He's already off the board. Okay, cool. I don't think we'll get him to fall, but we don't really need him to. But I would like, if we're going to go with this type of wide receiver room, which is kind of like a potluck wide receiver room, I would like to make sure that all of our other quarterback are, we're going to get 2 more quarterbacks, and I'd like to make sure they're staffed. Now, there's a world where we could get a more premium type of quarterback and just kind of be done with Jackson, and I don't think we're going to get that quarterback. That line in the sand kind of ends with Dart for me, and I'm still happy to have 3. So, Bo Nix is a consideration as well. Guess he's the highest ADP of those guys. And we're what are we right at? 107. So Bo Nix would be right at ADP. So maybe we'll look to bring him on and then just punt on these guys and then hope to grab one of these receivers in this range. I'd kind of be happy with any of them. It's totally fine. And then yeah, we might wind up. What does Mark Andrews go at? Mark Andrews is going at 125. All right, we'll put him down here just so we can remind ourselves at, well, it'd be 131. He'd have to fall. Let's see how this goes. We will see how it goes. I don't know that Mark Andrews is washed. I don't know really. I think the opinions kind of vary on him, but Lamar Jackson's insane. James Cook, Genty, Javante Williams is insane. Ibuka, Tyson, Pierce, Sutton. These kind of are kind of all of the same from a receiver, but if we have a bunch of all of the same guys, I feel a lot better about that. It looks like Bo Nix is going to make it to us. It would be interesting if Jacoby Myers made it to us, if we would want to do that and then see if Nix comes around. Our buddy drafting here has Daniels, Godwin, Higgins, Flowers. Interesting that they took Daniels over Jackson there. So for us, Bo Nix is next up. I think we can take Jacoby Myers, and then if he takes Bo Nix, okay, no problem. I guess, or we could have taken Sam Laporta and tried to wheel golf, but if he doesn't take Nix, then we get Myers, which is my preferred receiver out of that next group of Dobbs and Golden. He gets Laporta, so maybe he'll take Goff here potentially. The timeout and get Harold Fannin. Interesting. He plays Bo Nix. I mean, what in the name? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, why would you take? I don't know what I don't know. All right, since we didn't get him, I think I want one of these tight ends. Or we could grab Matthew Golden. Yeah, you know what? Let's grab Matthew Golden. We might get a little behind on quarterback here, but we did draft Lamar Jackson for that reason. So, oh, you know what? The thing got me. The thing that always gets me got me. This happens to me. I time out a lot. It's fine. Mayfield, I wanted him anyway, and we probably wouldn't have gotten him back at 131. His ADP is 118, so that's fine. That pairs him up with Ibuka. So we got our number one receiver has his backup. And then if Jones or Shuck falls to us at 131, then we'll feel pretty good about that. Right, once you have Jackson, like your other quarterbacks are just, you're looking for some bye week upside and some weekly upside, but you're hoping that he makes your lineup a majority of the time. We can also look at Mark Andrews on the way through here as well if he falls. So we have some falling options we're looking at, and then otherwise, in that range of players, I think we're still continuing to hammer running back. We will look to prioritize Ray Davis because I believe more than any other handcuff running back this year that James Cook handcuff Ray Davis is the most important one to have. I think that that's pretty much not the argument, because if Ray Davis has to slot into James Cook's role, well, he won't be as good. He will be very good. And I mean, what else do you want from a handcuff, right? Just because it won't just be a matter of volume. Ray Davis is amazing. So that's where, I know he normally goes around like 190. We might pull him up at like, the 179 or the 58 because he's that important. I don't want to let that go. That allows us to go five running backs and just be very, very cool with how that played out if he's one of those five. All right, 131. Again, we're looking for maybe Jones or Mark Andrews to wheel. There's also Jared Goff. This is wild. I will take Goff if he makes it back. He won't because that's forever away. But I think we probably want to grab one of these tight ends. Uh, Kincaid and Likely are also fine. If Concepcion or Higgins falls, I guess we could look at both of them. I'm okay with that for sure. Or Daniel Jones, right? It wouldn't be a matter of falling, excuse me, because he goes here at 155. So, and I think Jones with Pierce is some pretty decent upside. So we'll just see what's available to us quarterback wise. Showed going a little ahead of his ADP, which he tends to do. I think grabbing our first tight end in this range probably is wise if we can. We'll be in this range of, Kelsey through Ferg. And then I don't even mind the next range, which is like Goddard down through Strange and Henry. I don't mind those guys. They're all pretty decent. Just from if you're gonna grab three of them, having a couple of those guys is good. I like AJ Barner this year too. So we shall see. All right. So let's still look back at this team that went no running backs through seven, goes no running backs through eight, and starts with Jonathan Brooks, Jordan Mason. Maybe there's take running backs the rest of the way. Tracy. The lone Cam Statabu team did end up getting Dowdle, but only has Statabu and Dowdle. Malik Willis goes there. All right, so we're on the clock. We're going to take Mark Andrews, pair him up with our boy, and then we could grab another one of these guys, or we can just reach down and grab Daniel Jones, which I don't know if pulling him up this far is the right move, but if we miss out on Jones, then it gets real nasty afterward. Like you're just kind of in no man's land for a quarterback. So we do have Jackson though, so it's like not the end of the world, but I don't love any of these players. I really don't. So, I know we'd be reaching crazy on value. I guess we could grab McMillan here. He probably won't make it back to us, right? He too big of a name and double stack McMillan with Baker Mayfield. Yeah, let's do that. So we missed out on Godwin, but I think I'm happy to grab McMillan there. Like, this is like six of the same guy. You could say, no, Ibuka's better than all of them. Well, I should hope so. We took him with the most draft capital. But, like, we don't know what Tyson looks like yet, although he'll probably be good. Alec Pierce, if he can get around his injury, should be good. Cortland Sutton will have good weeks. Jacoby Myers should have good weeks. When Ibuka maybe is not the guy, maybe McMillan is sometimes, so I feel pretty good on that. Now, if Daniel Jones wheels back around, we'll absolutely get him. If he doesn't, we will grab a third quarterback. But right now, our team is Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, James Cook, Genty, Javante Williams, Edmecca Ibuka, Tyson, Pierce, Sutton, Myers, McMillan, and Mark Andrews. And what I think I'm going to be looking to do here is go 3-5-7-3. I think that's what I'm going to be looking at here for my build. Right. Again, we do want to make sure that we get Ray Davis. I'm going to go ahead and pop him in there. He's at 190, so we should be able to wait on him pretty considerably. We have, I don't want to say caught up, but we're in pretty good shape from receiver here. So now we just got to grab a couple of tight ends, grab another quarterback, and a couple of running backs. And again, I want one of those running backs to be named Ray Davis for sure. Strange is somebody I'm interested. How many picks are we off here? 8. Yeah. Strange is somebody I'm interested in if he falls. Um, Daniel Jones went. All right, this is kind of iffy from this range of guys. I think Rodgers is the one I probably want the most. And so if he makes it back here, we'll snap him, and then we'll grab like Fryermuth later. Strange is a good look. Sadiq and Johnson are fine. From a running back perspective, all these guys are fine. Schultz and Hawkinson are fine. So yeah, so there's I'm pretty happy with any of these. I guess Keaton Mitchell could be another guy we're interested in if he makes it down here. So again, I don't think we're at 155. I don't want to, I think we are going to take Rodgers with one of these two picks. We'll probably take 158. I know we can maybe get him here at 179. Honestly, I just don't want to miss out on him. I don't want Bryce Young as my third quarterback. I don't want a lot of these other guys as my third quarterback. So, all right. So we're going to take Aaron Rodgers, a little high, and then I guess Kenyon Sadiq. Schultz and Hawkinson are fine. So is AJ Barner, but I don't really care. It's all good. City top. So our wide receiver, we'll just stack like a Ted Hurst or a Surratt in at the end to stack up with one of these guys, or Jeremy Bernard to stack up. Our last wide receiver, our seventh wide receiver, will stack with one of these quarterbacks almost assuredly. And now we do need to look to grab some running backs when it gets back around to us. So here we'll grab Kenyon Sadiq. Happy to have him on the squad. We did not get Keaton Mitchell. That's fine. So back here with, what do we have, 4 picks left? Back here, we'll look to pull up Bray Davis, try to grab him at 179 as long as he doesn't go off ahead of that, which I really hope he doesn't. You know, there's an argument getting real reading pulling up here, but Sadiq's too good value, especially with Mark Andrews, who's a little bit older. We just want to make sure we have someone in that slot. So we'll look to take Ray Davis here. We'll look to probably double tap running back here, and then in the final round, we'll either go with a Hurst or a Surratt as one of our stacking options with quarterbacks or Bernard, but Bernard normally goes off before the last round. So again, we're gonna make sure we get Ray Davis, and then again, I think there would probably still be some running backs we're pretty interested in here, and we'll feel pretty good about that. So I like the team. Let's take a look out across the board and see. Okay, Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is a super unbalanced team. Went St. Brown, London, Moore, McMillan, Downs, May, Herbert, Stafford, Brooks, Mason, Tracy, Pacheco, Kamara. Yeah, I don't love it. Brown, Bowers, Allen, Loveland. Then went Tate, Burrow, Corum, Pearsall, Gainwell, Jones, Diggs, Coker, Charbonnet, Judy. Don't like that team either. Bijan Robinson, who then went Pickens, Neighbors, Adams, and Williams. Then went Pollard, Prescott, Dobbins, Monungai, Shug, Goff, and Ferguson. Jennings, Flournoy. Yeah, I like the way they did that. I like the way they did that. Yeah, those are pretty unbalanced squads. Mike Evans through 5 here. Then goes Jalen Hurts. So they only have Mike Evans through 7. Yeah, I think they're behind on wide receiver. Worthy, Dobbs, and Concepcion do catch them up a little bit, but that's a little behind. Again, we just got a smattering of all the same guys. Ibuka, Tyson, Pierce, Sutton, Myers, McMillan. Like, feel really good about how that worked out when we only took one wide receiver through 4 and only 2 through 6. I think that worked out the best it could. Would have liked to get Daniel Jones on the squad to have that upside, but it's all right. And Rodgers is fine where he is. Where does Fryermuth go? Where does Fryermuth go? He goes at 192. So this could be Ray Davis, Fryermuth on the turn here. This could also be Ray Davis. Because 192 is going to be down here. And I like Fryermuth stacked with Rodgers as our sneaky back stack. So we could go Davis, Fryermuth here just as our picks. And then grab I don't know who's going to be down here. Whatever, like James or some one of those guys, Jordan James, or I don't think Marshawn Lloyd makes it around that far. But the other thing is we would need Muth to slip almost 10 spots, right? Goes down to 203. And again, I will grab our wide receiver, our last wide receiver here, knowing that our priority is to pick up Ray Davis. Now, if there's another decent running back up here that I like, which there are, I like Dylan Sampson fine, sitting with Sean Tucker. Ray Davis goes, man, we got sniped on Ray Davis. So one of my things is if you are going to um, draft James Cook, you want Ray Davis, and that did not work out here, and that's a shame. All right, well, all the running backs I like go. So actually, let's take Sean Tucker. It's a crying shame. I guess we'll take Muth, although the other thing is that we could just take Bernard here and hope that Muth wheels, and if he doesn't, Bernard's going to get more. Although I don't know that he will. I actually think that Fryermuth is a really sneaky upside in that offense. Oh man, not getting Ray Davis. We were pulling him up too. We were pulling him up. We're gonna pull him up 10 slots. He got pulled up 12, 13. It's wild, dude. It's absolutely wild. The snipery in these drafts is nuts. I mean, it's not snipery. It's people taking their guy, but like Ray Davis, like he's not a starter. This team only has Corum, Gainwell, Jones, Charbonnet, and Davis. That I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That team is not well balanced at all. All right, yeah, we're gonna shoot our shot on Fryermuth, take him ahead of Helm, Dulcich, Ott, and Ferguson. We're just gonna take him. Although we could take one of these guys and then hope to get him. Yeah, let's do it. Let's take Helm. No, oh, we did. We did it off. Because now I'd rather have Fryermuth. Oh, wait, we already had two tight ends. It's fine. It's totally fine. Gunner Helm, Prep Fryermuth. Helm could be in for a bigger year anyway. I know we don't have the stack here, but I don't think we're going to get Jeremy Bernard back, but we'll get one of the stacks. So it turns Aaron Rodgers into just kind of a naked piece, but that's fine. Um, and then you did grab one more running back and a wide receiver down here at the end. And running back wise, I'm fine with. Uh, we do have Genty, so do we want Mike Washington? I don't know that we do, but maybe. Jordan James seems fine. Come on, Vidal seems fine. Like any of these guys, it doesn't really matter to me. There's Jaden Blue because we have Monte Williams, and if he makes it back, that's cool. Overall, I really like the team. I think we got a little want out in here. Ray Davis' plan did not go as planned. But I think our three tight end strategy is great. Andrew, Sadiq, Helm are all great tight ends. McMillan here was a smart pick, I believe, double stacking him with Mayfield. So we got Mayfield with both McMillan and Ibuka, giving us 2 shots a week at that. Jackson is naked, but we did get Andrew, so he's not fully naked. He doesn't have one of his receiving threats and Flowers, which I think is the only one. But down here, again, for 206, we'll be looking at like let's see, there's Bateman's down here, Surratt's down here, and I guess we'll probably lead into one of those over a Hurst. Um, Ted Hurst already off the board, going higher and higher. There's also, I guess, Jeremy Bernard. So yeah, we have options if one of these guys falls. Is Ted Hurst off the board already? Wild work. They all do. I guess Tyquan Thornton's fine. Running backs are drying up. Of this pile, I'll probably go with Kamoni Vidal just because I think there's a chance, forget injuries, etc., that he's just in the game script to some degree at some point. So looks like Muth was going to make it back, but actually, I mean, like I said, Gunnar Helm, even though he's unstacked, it's fine. I mean, it's totally fine. Yeah, so overall, for our first bullet into this tournament, there was some shenanigans definitely with the board, but overall, I like the team. I like the team a lot. I think we could have drafted a little tighter in spots, but it's okay. If Jeremy Bernard makes it back here, I guess that's who we're going to take. Um, or do we take? Yeah, I guess maybe we take the running back and then get Surratt or Bernard on the turn. Says we should get one of them. There's a lot of receivers in this range. So yeah, so we'll be looking for Kamoni Vidal. Take him, and then we'll grab one. Well, we're definitely getting one of these three. Hopefully, we get one of our stacked guys. Of these two, I guess I'm going to take Bernard. I What is he projected for? He's projected for 80. Surratt's for the same projections. I have more Bernard than Surratt, so maybe I just take Surratt here. Doesn't really matter. Again, this is just give myself some weekly upside. Yeah, I guess maybe take Surratt because I'm hoping that um, he's going to have some synergy with Jackson. Hoping Jackson and Surratt make my lineup to some degree. Yeah, all right, that's fine. Seems good. All right, final team: Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers at QB, James Cook, Ashton Genty, Javonte Williams, Tucker, and Vidal at RB. Ibuka, Tyson, Pierce, Sutton, Myers, McMillan, Surratt at wide receiver, which this is probably the weakest aspect of our team. Andrew Sadiq Helm for a three tight end configuration is pretty solid. Our our room is not there's upside here, but you don't have that marquee player. But we do have Cook, Genty, Williams to sort of hang our hat on, and we're saying most of the time one of these guys is going to wind up in our flex, and that's just how it's going to pan out, and we're going to feel pretty good about it. And then we're hoping that Lamar Jackson is the Lamar Jackson of old, but not too much Lamar Jackson of old because go Bills. Thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks for checking out the draft. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you like the content, and I will see you guys in the next bullet.